Hey, I'm going to finish the book today. As the earliest astronomers stepped down from the van onto the soft sand, a strange look passed across Thales and Anaximander's faces. Thales gazed at the plate in his hand and said to Anaximander, I have an idea. This plate, Earth, I have to go. Anaximander stared at his can of beans and said, I also have an idea. This object, I think, Earth, I have to go too. The two astronomers hurried off in opposite directions, not glancing back at the van once. They've already forgotten about us, said Jess in delight. This is great, Layla. It means we didn't change history at all. The same thing happened with Pythagoras and Aristotle. Aristarchus walked away thoughtfully twirling his pencil between his fingers and muttering something about writing a book, while Copernicus munched on his pretzels as he walked back inside the house. Galileo got straight into bed with his telescope and pulled the blankets over the tip of his nightcap. Now, all we have to do is write about it, said Layla as she twisted the clock dial back to 2015. The van zoomed up and away, back through time and space until it landed safely outside Layla's house. Dr. Goggles will never believe us, said Jess as they ran inside. We don't need her to believe us, Layla pointed out, as long as she gives us a good grade so we're not at the bottom of the class. As they filed into class on Monday morning, Jess and Layla saw that Dr. Goggles had pinned pictures of all the astronomers they had talked about around the walls of the science laboratory. Layla grinned at the marble sculptures of Thales and Anaximander, and she wondered whether Pythagoras was still humming and whether Galileo's extra clean telescope meant that he was making even bigger discoveries. Seeing all of the pictures reminded Layla of their fantastic adventure, and the best part was that she and Jess hadn't changed history one bit. Leave your homework assignments on my desk, please, said Dr. Goggles. That was a really dumb assignment, Danny Phillips complained. Who wants to know about a bunch of old guys who are all wrong anyway? Copernicus ate my homework, said Jade Jefferson, giving a feeble excuse for why she didn't bother to do the assignment. Layla and Jess handed in their joint assignment and sat down. A picture of Aristotle gazed down at Layla from the wall beside her desk, and she giggled at his stern expression. Then she froze. What's the matter, Layla? Asked Jess. Aristotle, gasped Layla. You won't believe it, Jess, but he's wearing my watch. There is an astronomer's timeline here. Thales was born in 624 and he lived until 574 BC. He believed Earth was flat. So this was a really, really long time ago. This was before the year 0. Anaximander lived from 610 to 564 BC. He believed the Earth was cylindrical, like a can of beans. Pythagoras lived from 750 BC to 490 BC. He believed crystal spheres spun around Earth. Aristotle lived from 384 BC to 322 BC. He believed Earth was a sphere and that the sun spun around it. Aristarchus lived from 310 BC to 230 BC. He believed that Earth was a sphere that spun around the sun. Copernicus lived from 1473 to 1543. He believed Earth revolved around the sun. He also believed in heliocentrism. And Galileo lived from 1564 to 1642 AD, and he presented evidence for heliocentrism.